Hi, this is Isabel Litzler. So I'm getting a lot of questions on my YouTube channel, mainly around how to get a job around a specific profession. So people ask me, what about IT? What about nurses? So I get so many questions. I figure I'll do one video to cover the answer to those questions. So basically in three parts, I'll try to explain to you that basically profession is not really how you should look at the question, meaning that it's not a process per position. So it doesn't really matter how old you are and what type of job you're looking for. The process is the same for everybody. So whether you're a nurse, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a IT, it's going to be the same process. And I do want to repeat that again because I have some colleagues of mine who are also HR consultants and career consultants who say the same thing as me. It doesn't matter if you're junior, senior, your profession, etc. There's processes to look for a job. There's habits that you build. There's skills that you build to be a good job seeker, to be basically someone who gets the right opportunities. And then you have the other people who don't get the opportunities because they're not activating those things. But really, it doesn't matter which profession. I mean, if I'm a nurse, I'm going to follow the exact same process to find a job than someone who's IT. Maybe we're going to look at different job boards. We're going to have a different network for sure, but the process and the skills that we need to build to get there are the exact same. So I want you to really write that down, maybe once and for all. It's the same process that you're using no matter which type of profession that you're in. So actually that's good news because that means that you can change careers maybe several times in your lifetime, and the skills that you acquire via people like me, it's going to be the same thing that you can use. So whatever I'm teaching you on this channel, or if you purchase my course, how to find a job in Switzerland, in the end, if 10 years down the road you change professions, those things I'm teaching you are the exact same. It's the same information that you will be using. So you just have to refresh maybe on, how do we look at, how do we use an applicant tracking system, or, which job boards are out there in Switzerland. But it's going to be the same process. So the process is a 3-step process, and it's basically the heart of my course. And it's what I teach in this channel. I'm making different videos, but always around those 3 steps. So this is all you need to know, really, is these 3 steps. If you master these 3 steps, it doesn't matter if you go from IT to accounting to nurse, you're going to use those 3 steps. So step number 1 is building up your profile. So you can't be seen as someone of value if you don't have a good profile out there, meaning that, you want your LinkedIn to look good, you want your resume to be flawless for the Swiss market and have the right information in there and be optimized. Same thing with LinkedIn, you want it to be optimized. So that takes a little bit of hard work. That's what I work on with my clients, the one-to-one clients especially. Really want someone to walk them through those steps. It seems easy from the outside, but to actually build a good profile, it takes some effort. It takes some thinking, some research. You want to make sure that you're seen and you are perceived by the Swiss market as someone of value. So the last thing you want to do is just go and throw your applications on the applicant tracking systems. You want to build a good profile. So that's the step number 1. Again, no matter what you are doing right now in terms of profession, build up your profile. Make sure you're seen and heard and perceived as someone of quality. You have a lot of rating systems nowadays. So you can be, someone of value if you can see on LinkedIn, for example, that your profile has been seen, so many times. You have a lot of comments under your posts. You get invited to events. And again, that doesn't have to be in Switzerland. Work on your own country first. So wherever you're based right now, are you a person, I call that a go-to person, or someone of value in your own country? So whether you're accounting, finance, HR, what have you, if I ask now around in your country of origin, are you someone who's sought after, who's wanted? If that's the case, then you're probably in a good position to transition somewhere else and to be actually someone of value outside of your country. But first, develop your native presence. Make sure you're already a reference in your home country, or, make sure that you have done this if you're planning to migrate to Switzerland. Now, if you followed a partner already in Switzerland, or a husband or a wife, then this is the time to actually start building your profile in your country of migration or of residence now. But build up your profile. That's number one. Number two is you want to have a perfect application. So when you apply in Switzerland, and I've made a whole video previous to that, I will put again at the end about how to use the applicant tracking system. Make sure you optimize your resume, looks good, and it's matching the job description. It's exactly what the employer wants. So again, we're not talking about any kind of special profession there. Any profession is the same. You have to have a good resume. You have to be proud of your documents. As I say, when people say, can you send me your resume? That you're happy with what it says, that it's actually in tune with what the market wants at this stage. Because if you haven't looked for a job in 10 years, well, things have changed a little bit. And now there's new tools out there, especially on resume building. I work on this with my clients every day. You know, on resume building, you have a lot of better applications now where, you know, resumes are a little bit more visual. So you want to use those newer formats of resumes that you can find also online. So you can either do it online. Now there's lots of tools that will actually publish a resume for you, or use a nice templates on Word or Canva. I'll put all those links below so you don't have to search. But basically you have no excuse now to have a poorly written, poorly optimized resume. So all the tools are there. So that's the step number two, is make sure your tools are your, what I call your tools, your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn. You're proud of them. They represent who you are. You feel like it's a good product, basically. And step number three, it's about networking. So once you have all that, it's great, and you can use the online application with very little returns. But what's really going to make the difference, and what's going to make it or break it almost in your application in Switzerland, is how much you can show that to people, and how much you can, you know, network with individuals who will be happy to recommend you to others, etc. So there's a little bit of interconnectivity there that's necessary so that your resume lands in the right on the right desk, basically, and with the right person. And that takes a little bit of strategy as well. You know, where do I send my resume? Who's the person that's going to be more interested in it, etc. So we get more into the strategies there. So you see how in my 3 steps, the beginner steps are really all about thinking already about what you want and building up a name for yourself. You're more in the trenches there, trying to build something. And then once you build something of value, you're a respected professional, you have done all the studies, you're someone that's actually out there practicing your trade or your profession. Then you activate networking, and you can maybe get some bigger results. You know, you can, and that's when you can maybe be recognized also in Switzerland, and start being someone that is talked about in Switzerland, that people want to recruit. But most people, the mistake that they made is that they try to cut corners a little bit too fast. You know, they want to go straight to the job, but you can't really get the great job immediately if you haven't really thought about, okay, what am I bringing to this organization, and why would they want to pick me? In the end, that's what you have to ask yourself. So again, the conclusion of this video is that it doesn't matter which profession you are. The way to get a job in Switzerland is to have a great profile, to be someone of value, to be someone that's recognized in your field, to already have some, I would say, some know-how and respect in your field already. And then, only then, you can try to go for that Swiss competition of getting a job in Switzerland, and you feel that you're in par with people who are already in the market and already have a job. You can measure up to that because you're already someone who's got quite a lot of experience. So again, there's no process per job. Like, I'm legal, so the process is this, and I'm nurse and the process is that. It's the same thing. I would give the same recommendation. If you're a nurse, build up your profile, start becoming a nurse in your country, you know, have the right diplomas, etc. And then when you come to Switzerland, you activate networking and doing your application the Swiss way. And it's going to be the same for everybody. Again, the names of the people that can help you and the contacts are going to be different, because a nurse is not going to need the same network as an accountant. but they would have gone through the same process of building up their profile, building up their applications, getting the right degrees and the right education, having checked, to have a Swiss-made type of resume. And then where there would be a difference is where they would find the networking contacts. Obviously, if you're a nurse, you would want to look at conferences where there's medical professionals. If you're a accountant, then you're looking at more conferences for accountants. So really the networking is where it's going to be a big difference. But the process, again, to get there is exact same. So I just wanted to make that clear once and for all before you start thinking about, okay, what is the process for my profession? Do the first 2 steps really well, and then look at my videos around networking so you can find people that are in that field, and then you would have your 3 steps all covered and you'd be completely in a good path to be successful in your job search in Switzerland. So feel free to comment below. I'd like to hear from you. Did you successfully manage to get in touch with people in your profession, for example? Well, how did you manage to find a job in Switzerland if you have a job right now as an expat? Thanks.